Okay. Hey Dennis, how you doing? And the last life server. Oh, I do not have permission to post in there. Strange. In a particular channel in the last life server, I should specify. I'll just message VG. I was taking a nap and woke up to the buzz that this just started. Yes. Oh, great. Well, I'm sorry to say that this is probably going to be pretty low energy. All of these are. Let me see. I'm opening up my level design doc right here on the side. Got off screen, and I need to pull up the diagram I have for the ship interior. Woo, look at that. Zoom to fit 100, and then snap to grid. Is that an upside down warp pipe? No, it is not. It is a collision model for the mast of this ship. This is how you do mesh colliders in something as old as id Tech 4. All right. So, is this the guy with the bad definition of mechanics? Hi, Zach. How you doing? Oh, I should mod Lamb Hoot as well. Okay. Hell yeah. Wait, when the hell did I get to be moderator? Oh, I modded you last time. Was it last time? One time you popped in and I was just like, I need a mod. Hey guys. So, what is today's plan? Oh, I think VG just messaged me. Hey. Streaming. Shown number 3. Yep. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just messaging people off screen. No problem. So, I am not the best at planning this sort of stuff. It's, I think it would behoove me to be a little more regimented. But basically, I just asked one of my coworkers, hey, are you gonna be free Sunday in this time slot? And he was like, I think so. And so I'm trying to follow up with him. He said he should be able to make it at some point during the stream, but that's not 100% guaranteed. So that's sort of why I'm putting the first interview question mark. Yeah. So that's sort of the situation. It also didn't occur to me that this was Father's Day, and he is a dad. He might be busy. But it should be good. So we will see if this guest shows up, and if not, we can try next weekend, or I can ask someone else to show up for next weekend. Yeah. All right. But until then, we're going to continue with our blockout. So where we last left off is that we had the very basic outlines of our map here set up. Here's basically going to be the extent of the, not even the play space, because this is like, you're not really supposed to get out here. Or rather, there's not going to be much for the player to do there. Compared to, this sort of nook over here is going to be the extent of like all the buildings that are going to be alongside this canal. And we have some big old blocks sort of representing the actual gates between locks in the canal. So that's sort of a rough out of the dimensions of the space. And then, like I said, getting a moving interior with this ship model is going to be the biggest technical risk. So that's kind of why I'm starting with it, so that we can see sooner if it is going to be a thing that fails. We started pretty simple. Like I was pointing out to people, this ship model is hollow, which basically means that you can kind of make up whatever you want in there. And that's kind of what inspired me to start going on this map. And so what we did here is we actually added brushes to this interior, because prior that was just completely empty, so that's basically where we got to. We did a little back here, and then I realized that I'd specified for this to like dip down in the middle, because we kind of want to, oh boy, someone's speeding. Can you guys hear that, by the way? So the ship and the player are going to be moving towards each other through the level. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the idea is that the player is going to start somewhere around here. There will be buildings here, or a primary building. And then once the player gets up to the second floor, they'll be able to look out here, and then they'll see the ship, and the ship starts moving. It'll start going through the canal, and it's going to take about half an hour to go through here. The player needs to steal something that's on the ship. So they've got this like cool time pressure. But I think it would also be really cool to have, and this is accounted for. It's going to be really cool because we'll have a way in like this building over here, or a building that will be here. Obviously, there's no building there right now. To actually like jam this machinery. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. I wish there was a way to speed up this fly camera. Because in Unity, you can actually like hold down Shift. It's exactly like first-person controls. Yeah. Loud and clear. Yep. Okay, so like I said, we were going to go towards this back galley area with a very strange structure, because I figured why not. Can I separate this out into a... Yeah, I can. Alright, so here's the main deck, which is what we're focusing on right now. Here's the sort of, if I pull this apart, here's the sort of side areas that are like wrapping around here to this view below. So I'm going to be fixing those because these actually have like an incline or like little bits of stairs so that we can accommodate and not have the player like hit their head or like, it'll look feasible that this kind of dips into the space and it's still like a traversable space for the characters. Yeah, the weird thing about this is that it's at a strange angle because it's kind of matching rather the exterior of this, and it's like a curved wall of the ship. So yep. Okay, so how are we going to measure this? That is 96 units out. I'm measuring against the little Google Draw diagram I have on my second monitor. So, and you should also know that when I'm an editor, this is also like the grid view. And this will also be off to my right. So say, for instance, if I drag something out here on the grid view, there's a little block that I've just created. Yeah. It is nice to have this dual monitor setup, but it kind of makes it a hassle because it's like there's like this grid view is obscuring like my view of other things, and it's obscuring my view of the stream chat. So I gotta like switch over every now and again to check in, which is why mods are important, because who knows what you hooligans will get up to when I'm not looking. My God. Right, so the grid size is 16. Move that over, and that will be, no. Okay, so that's 96 wide. So it has to cut along, this line. So here's me trying to remember and figure out how we use a split tool. If indeed there is one. Should be modify, right? No. Hoo boy. Flying by the seat of our pants. Clipper? Is that it? Okay. We are playing with fire. Okay. So I think we do that. And if I remember, there's like a funky keyboard shortcut to keep both halves of these. Otherwise, it's just going to delete one or the other. So I think it's Shift Enter. Hey, that was it. Sweet. I'm not stupid today. All right. You think it's worth buying a boat IRL? I don't know. Oh, I will say that there is a guy who works at a another company in the same office building that Other Side is in, and he's one of the guys that also rides the train out to where that is, and so I've talked with them every now and again, and there's like other friends I've made on the train who also know this guy. Apparently he like lives in a boat. Like he lives in a boat like near the seaport area in Boston, although I think it's a little farther north, because it's like, seaport is very, very commercial. It's like there's like the Westin there, which is like the hotel where PAX East is held, and around there's like the courthouse, I think. But then, a little north, there's actually like the north end of Boston, which is like this old Italian neighborhood, and there are some docks out there. I've actually walked by, and so apparently he just like lives in one of those boats, and he just has it docked all year, and he likes to take week vacations and then like fucking sail to the Bahamas and then work remotely or some shit. Dude's pretty wild. Oh no, I do not. Q. All right. So yeah, I don't know. If you like the idea of that, go buy a boat. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I want to make a little slope. I'm gonna resize this. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Let me size that back down to grid size 8. All right. Then gonna well, I was about to squish that edge down, but typically it depends on what you're building, but typically for gameplay spaces, the rule of thumb for stairs is like a 3/2 slope instead of being like 1 by 1, because if you squish that down, that'll make like a 45-degree angle, but 2/3, which will be like that, creates a 30-degree angle, which is a little more I guess feasible. Oh, okay. The texture is very small compared to everything else, but sure. Jared, boat advisor and game designer. Nice. Yeah, I got on a binge last night of living boat videos. Tons of people live in their boats in marinas. Yeah, it is weird. Dax, who is our animator at Other Side, he's been obsessed with van life videos for the past few months. It's very strange. And yeah, it's basically just like people who work remotely out of X was the clip tool, right? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so it's just like a bunch of people from typically who are like tech workers, who are just really into living out of their vans because they can work remotely, they can go anywhere. Their type of work doesn't really depend on them being there in person. So that way you get to travel a lot. But also it feels weird because it's like a community. Well, rather, it seems like it's not a community, Like you're just going to be like out there alone the whole time. Unless you're like doing it with someone. It seems very like isolating. I'm not sure I could take that, Okay, so we've got this little dip here. Does that really accommodate for this? Kinda. I might move this back a little towards here. This is tough to maneuver around the ship interior. Yeah, but I might move this back a little because this is going to slope down here, and we need a little more room for this top part to come down. But okay, so after the 96 and then the 96 units between this edge and the top of the stairs here. Let's see. Ooh. 3, 4? Yeah? No, I'll just measure it based off of this. I'm trying to get all fancy. Okay. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 64 units. That's 256. Yeah. Yeehaw. So if we take this, and how wide is this? That's 224 actually, which is pretty close. So if I resize, 256. All right. And I'll do that with this one too. Nope, not what I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Is this poking out? Oh, yeah. Oh well. Just gonna scoot that in. All right. Nice. Then I should just be able to create a copy of this. What am I going to do? Ah, there we are. No. Come on. No. As I have said before, the default mappings for actions in the dark mod are very bizarre. That is not the ring I wanted to click. No. Alright, I'll do it with a 3D gizmo thing. No. What in the world? Okay. So you can't like shift click prior to clicking it. You have to click and start rotating and then press down shift to get it to come on, snap to. Let me turn around. Do I just need to in order to snap it to a nice angle? Okay, there we are. That was more frustration than it should have been. And it is mostly my fault. Okay. And then what else am I needing to measure here? 1, 2, 3. So the back edge of the galley here is going to be 3 times 64, which is 192. And then it's to match the curvature, it's going to be sort of a trapezoidal shape. It's going to come up to meet here, which that dimension is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 times 64. So that's 320 plus 32. So it's 356. No, 350. 2. God damn it. I'm making basic math errors on air. This is great. Everyone's going to think I'm stupid. All right. You know, I should write that down. So is that 3 times 64, which is 192. And then that's going to go to, what I just say, 352. Okay. Hope he's into Noah College of it. Oh, yeah. I do think I mentioned that to him. Damn, yeah, those van life videos are really cool, too. I feel like we all just crave adventure. Indeed. Which is why... well, I don't know if we want to talk about, like, the Shrekfest stuff publicly, but I don't know. Alright, so it's going to go back here. Oh, yeah, and, so let's square this up again. That's not quite there, but this is strange how this ended up. Oh, I think it's because I like stretched it. Well, that doesn't make me feel comfortable because it's off grid. So let's just drag this out then. 192. There we are. And how deep is this thing going to be? I need to know. One, two, three. It's like 3 3/4. So it'll be 256 minus. Must be 16, right? So that'd be 240. Da, da. 240. There we are. And that's not quite extending to where it needs to be, but we're good. Nice, solidly inside. I think I need these to scoot back. Then what was it? 352 on this side. So how am I going to do this symmetrically? I guess I'll just start by 1, 2, and then go 1, 2. That's 256. Was that measurement even right? 1, 2. Then 1, 2. And then brought me to 320. If I bring this up here, maybe will I have enough? Because 315 or 352 would be adding 16 to each side. So is this thing 16 high. Yeah. Oh, come on. There we are. Hey. They're differently aligned. It's a mystery. I don't think this is going to be a problem. If it only stretches out to 320 units here. If I move these back, that should be fine. These are also not necessarily lined up with the curvature of the angle here. I'm not too worried about that at this stage. That's definitely something we're going to fix later on when we're doing decoration. That's pretty far in the future. Okay, now with that done, I think we need to put up walls. Okay, a wall I made. And no. It's strange because when you select something in Unity, for instance, that counts as an action that can be reversed with the undo shortcut. But in this engine, it ain't. Or in this level editor, rather. So it's strange having to switch between the defaults, I guess, between two different pieces of tech. Oh, you know what? This is kind of sloping back a little, so it might be nice if this wall was like a little rotated that way, you know. Feel like I'll do that later though. Alright, so do this, stretch this out to oh, come on. Oh, interesting. These are poking in. All right, well, if I do that, for instance, but then will we necessarily have enough room here for the player to move through? That is 88 units, this thing right here. It's 88 units wide. That's probably going to be fine. But it does come with the unfortunate side effect of there being less square footage in here. And, you know, this thing was already going to feel cramped. I think I was planning on having counter space here, if I recall. Yeah, kind of, but like not that far out. Maybe I'll just like put support beams here and call it a day to disguise that. Welcome to the geometry stream. We're all nerds down here. Okay. Is that extending all the way? Not quite. All right. Okay, so let's line these two up. And are these... Not quite. All right. Q. And for the record, I'm muttering Q to myself because Q is the key that brings up this resize tool. Or, yeah. An E for edges. And let's bring that in. We're going to over, and do we want this to extend to... Yeah, we do. So I was thinking if we wanted this particular brush to extend to the far side of these stairs, and my conclusion is yes, because this extends down further than this piece on the side, and I believe, you know, the piece that we're going to put here is going to be the same. So we do indeed want that. Snap over there. Looking good on the exterior. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised. This funky shaped room is going way smoother than I thought it would. And I'm really happy about that. So yes, this occurs in, let's say, more user-friendly tools these days, but you know, here's level design. Hope you like it. That's pretty good. And then we're going to bring this wall here. And that is... Oh, awesome. Shift Alt. I'm going to bring this in here and then tuck this back in. You know, I signed up to do this for however many months it takes to complete this map. Oh, man. What's the Q plus T? Oh, Dennis. Oh, hey, I think that's... Is that the train or a plane? I can't tell. I live right next to the set of train tracks that the train I take to work runs along, which is very convenient for my commute. It is not so convenient when I'm recording audio. And is that right? Yep, looks it. Then I think last for at least this floor. Go over here. Nice. It's in that door frame. So it's good that, oh no, wait, no. No, okay, good. It's just using a similar texture. Then over here. Does that extend all the way? No. Oh, whoops. Shit, where am I? Extend that a tad. And nice. All right, and we need to segment this off because this is technically a separate room. I'm listening to a couple break up somewhere down the street at the moment. Oh my god. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay. No one wins in the game of love, Zach. Cool. Okay. And then a bit of a ceiling. Oh, come on. One over and then one up. It is a bit handy that the copy tool displaces the copy a little. So that you can actually pick out where it is. But it is also very, I will say it's a strange approach to doing that. So this will be nice. I think this will actually form the floor of the captain's quarters once we get to building that. Okay, so at least up to this point, which I think is a little farther out. I'm talking about this lip where the modeled stairs here start. This is a little farther out than the edge of that particular chunk of wall. So if we have a piece of geo that extends all the way. To the end of that wall, then we should be safe. Let's have this go out, and yep. So let's see, do these line up? They do. Beautiful. I guess for right now, I only really care if it's tucked in enough to not stick out of the exterior. One, two. All right. And so because of this moving downward, this is going to be a pain in the ass. So I think I'm going to hold off on doing that until we move up to the captain's quarters, so I can determine what the floor of this space is going to be. Then I think for this, it's going to be all right, at least for this floor. What we're also going to be doing and moving on to is there's going to be a lower area here, and there's going to be a staircase that kind of bends at a not 90-degree angle because of this, but you know, it'll take a right turn, and then that's how the player can get up and down from below deck. So yeah, let's move around in the space and see what's up. DMap canal. Map canal. Okay. So here's where this space is going to be. Damn, that's a low ceiling. I guess it is to be expected. So if I move this back a bit, I think it should be all right. This definitely feels... This feels pretty wide. I don't know if it's too wide for this particular space. Because certainly it is nice and commodious to allow the player to potentially sneak around guards coming along here, maybe. I don't think it's that wide, but it definitely feels like comfortable enough to move on. And here's theoretically where the galley is going to be. Yeah, it feels all right. In order to get room for this staircase to go down, I really do feel like maybe I do need to shave a little off of this, kind of widen the space. Game design dad. I am not. I think the guy keeps yelling, "You happy now?" Oh my god. Serious question. What kind of version control do level designers use? Who? That really depends on what you're doing. For my own maps here, and this is probably not smart, I don't really have a version control thing set up right now, even though my professor in college really recommended that. Although I took version control to just basically mean like you save a separate copy of it as like V7 or V8. At work we use Perforce. Actually, you can see that right here. A lot of people use Git. It's fine. Right. Right, so I think I want to scooch this in. I think 16 units will be fine. We'll go back in and double check. And there we are. Then we can pull this out. All right, let's try that again. Here we are. And how does it feel? Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, it's a little narrower. I guess it's also kind of messing with my head because, you know, the texture of this obviously is not lining up with the direction of the curve. You know. Yeah, this feels pretty good. It does make me concerned because if we're going to put a support beam here to mask this, this is pretty close to the entry, and that might make it feel a little cramped. Guess we'll have to be careful and not go too large there. Thinking of it in terms of lighting, that also might be, well, it might be a good way to frame it. All right. Just take one last look out here. Oh yeah, this is way better. Okay, I'm happy with that. See? We're revising. Never really thought of how you'd commit incremental changes to levels. Meat. I think you meant neat, but sure. Okay, so I don't know which deck we should do next. I definitely want to build the stairs out and go below deck, but I think it's really important for the captain's quarters to be built so we know where this is going to be extending into. My gut says captain's quarters, So let's do that. This is also a very strange model because they created a door right here, and there's also stairs going down like into this doorway like immediately. It's so bizarre. But as you go through, right smack dab in the middle of this view is, the base of this rear mast. It's like, okay, how do you expect the player to move around? We might have enough space there, but it just seems like something you'd want to avoid. Okay, so that's about 96 units, or closer to 80 maybe. Yeah, all right. So what do we have for this space? So let me pull this up real quick. For the quarter deck, which is where the captain's quarter is, I got this. Excuse me. Got this captain's quarter area planned out. You go down into those stairs. We've kind of got this little weird divot entry area. And then there's going to be a set of stairs back up here that's going to raise back up. And then here's like the main space for the captain to live in. And that's where the key item is going to be. Yeah, I still have to figure out what that is. Oh, something else I should mention. One of my friends from college, Tyler Cifelli, he got in contact with me, and he graduated with a minor in game programming. But he has started branching out into doing a little art because he realized he wants to move into like being a tech artist, which is pretty cool. And so he did hit me up and he offered to make me assets for making this level, which would be a very generous thing for him to do. It makes me think that instead of having all of these blocks that I'm going to have to remember to bind to the ship model, as it's moving, that instead if he could model like one weird interior mesh to that that's to the exact dimensions that it needs to be, and I just bind that thing as a whole to the interior of the ship, that would make my life way easier. So I might ask him to do that. And I brought this up because, I might ask him also to model whatever item we want the player to be stealing. Just because, we wouldn't necessarily be limited to like what we have included in the dark mod for assets, which would be a nice thing. I definitely don't want to ask him for too much because that's a certain amount of work that I'm asking someone else to do for a project that is basically like just an extension of my YouTube channel, so. All right, well, let's bring this up. And actually I'm gonna delete that, but all right, because our last selection was at that height, and I dragged a block in the top-down view, that means it's gonna have the same height and height position, which is a handy little trick. Oh, I actually need to measure this section. I'll actually do this on screen because I'm not sure I've been doing it this session a lot. so you can explain, or I can explain what I'm doing. So basically, the way this works is I just kind of take a blank block. I know you can see this checker pattern here. Basically, I try to match that to a particular scale in the editor. So, you know, each like gray and white alternation grouped together, that's going to be like 64 units. So using that, I can just stretch a block here so I can get the width of this area. So that's 2.5 times 64. So it's 128 plus 32, which would be 160. It's pretty good. And then this interior wall here. So I'll write that down, 160. Then we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 64. So 320. Cool. I should probably get the larger side of this too. Which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 64. So 384. All right. So just know that when I'm like muttering numbers to myself and like my cursor's like off to the right, that's what I'm doing. All right, so 160, right? That doesn't line up. And this is why we measure. Let me check that again. Yeah, and then so that's supposed to extend from the bottom of these stairs to about halfway through the mast. I wrote something down wrong, didn't I? Isn't this great? Well, I guess in that dimension, we're just going to have to make do. So it's about halfway through the mast, which is where this is. That ended up being 112 units. Yep, looks good. So now we're going to stretch this out to... We're doing 320, right? All right. I'm not sure if this is symmetrical in relation to the door frame, like it's centered. Actually, let me do that. That's 128. Yep. Lines up. Okay, we're good. Good. So this inside is going to be 320, and the outside is going to be 384. Be like what? 1, 2, 3. 3. That brings us to 368. So that basically means extending this out another 8 units on each side. Come on. All right. I'm not sure how meaningful that's going to be, but here we are. And actually, yeah, because this is tapered in a little, I think we can actually widen this out. Oh, good. Shift Alt. All right. Whoops, yeah. All right. What architectural reference sources would you recommend? In terms of meaning like in terms of like learning architectural styles and like applying architecture like to your level design sketches, or yes. Yeah. Come on, Dennis. Yeah, I actually have a textbook that we had in college right on my bookcase next to me. It is called Architecture, Form, Space, and Order. Let me see. I'm pulling this up. Form, Space, and Order. Boom. Here's my copy. Here's what the cover looks like. How much is that? Wow, that's, well, at least through here it's, $8, which is pretty good. It's very like feely and like I don't know. It's tough because it's not like laying out like a set of rules necessarily. It's just sort of like asking you to consider like flow and the sort of shape of things. I definitely need to give this like a reread every now and again, because I definitely feel like I'm kind of failing in that, or like that's like an aspect I could be better at. The thing with that is also that you can sort of use this to create more like interesting spaces for the player to move around, which is something that really appeals to me. But the thing is that won't necessarily make a place look real. And for that, you're just going to have to, start looking at and paying attention to like different architectural styles and even just like mundane settings around you. So like noticing little things that make a room feel the way it does, such as, well, this is not a great example because it's on a ship. But if we were to go off here, for instance, and we were to say make a little room. I don't know why I'm putting this much time into this. Actually, yeah, let's just 1632. Yeah, so if we were to make like a room. Kind of like this. Something that would definitely help would be to, say, have baseboards. This is a thing that I really spent a lot of time trying to figure out on my last map in this editor. So, having something lining along there, and then, you would definitely want it to have like a contrasting texture to have it stand out. Where's it? I hate how this thing is organized. Wood boards. Old gray trim. For our purposes, that'll do. Yeah, and so even like adding trim to a corner like this kind of helps make it feel less artificial. I know I'm using like the worst textures for this example. And then also to help things feel sort of supported and also less barren. Little things like having sort of columns or support beams also really go a long way. Let me do like that, kind of like that. And definitely if you have like, and we'll get into this later, but if we were to say have like a second story catwalk, which is actually one of the things that we're going to be building, you would want to make it look like physically plausible. So if you had like angle supports here, if you don't have enough room necessarily, or if it is long enough, you could like sort of subdivide the space with like columns and supports coming down to make it look like the catwalk was like being held aloft. Yeah, it's just little things like that. And that's just stuff that takes practice, and that's stuff, that I'm still trying to figure out myself. So yeah, definitely getting a grounding in theory of architecture is very helpful, but you also need to like kind of see how it's applied in the real world. And of course, this also goes with the particular theming or setting of what you're building. So doing like some very fancy modern architecture thing may be really cool, but if you're working in the dark mod here, which is very medieval themed, it's not necessarily the right place to do that. Yeah. Like floor plans. Good hint. Okay. I mentioned this on Twitter a little while ago as well, but there was a thing I found out that you can actually go to the Boston Public Library and actually pull up floor plans of like every building, which is really neat. And I should definitely try to do that at some point. All right, I actually have to measure this. So this space right here is okay, so that's gonna be 64 deep by it's 128 plus 16, 144. All right. So what are actual dimensions here? So it's 56, which is pretty close. 64. Alright. Will we necessarily have room? Because this is sort of... I don't know. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to move this back. Or maybe I just don't deal with this space. I think I'll compromise. I'll cut it sort of in half, and then that's 120. Yeah, I don't think we're hitting, what did I say, 144? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can stretch it out that far. Okay. So we got that. Hey, no problem. Was it? Alright, so this is going to be raised a little higher. I think this is basically just going to be the height we're going with. Let's see. I have a feeling Justin is not, he's not going to show up. Dang. Yeah, can I push that as a notification? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Alright, I forgot. So. One, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 times 64. We just had to deal with this. So I know yeah, 384, right? Yeah. So this right now is 240. So we need to bring that up to 384. Is that? There it is. So 240 minus 384, that'd be 144, right? 140, no, that's 144. That extends out more than expected. Oh boy. Well, we've also got this space back here. Which might add another 16 or something to the back. Snap that out. Looks okay. One, 2, 3. Yep. That's pretty good. All right. So if I multi-select this, that should tell me the total, which is 360 units along this direction, which is pretty close to 384. Oh, actually, that's only 8. That's not 16. So we're even closer now. I'm concerned that this is poking out. Yeah. I guess we'll let it be. All right. Now I think it's time for the walls. So this is interesting that this is sticking up this far. I will probably just keep it that way. And I have this extend. That down. I realize every time I like whistle with my teeth or something, sort of like me doing a Bob Ross sort of thing. You know, every time he would like paint like a huge trunk of a tree, he'd just go like, whoosh, you know. And I wonder why I do that. Yep, that's good. Nothing poking out here. Good. Whoops. Here we are. Good, that's under the stairs. Move that over here. Right now for this. Extend this down. Oh, whoops. Right, it doesn't extend that far, does it? Copy for here. That's good. And stick in there, and then stick in there. All right. Now for the wall separating here. I think that segments into that piece of the floor. We don't want that. Yeah. Oh, and this is nice. We can actually just tuck this into the mast itself, and it should look pretty good. Actually, no, you can kind of tell that there's that lip there. Actually, I could just extend it for the whole thing, for this whole span. I just need to know how wide the stairs over here are going to be. Which would be 96 units. Okay. So $96. Okay. Oh, right. I'm just gonna pull that out. And then boom. Okay, so this is interesting. This is actually pretty short for space. Yeah, it's 72 high, which I think is the exact player height. Fortunately, as you can see here, this deck above the captain's quarters, which I know I have stated this in previous sessions, but this is what the poop deck is, actually, is the deck right above the captain's quarters, at least on a galleon. But that's sloping upwards, so that's going to give us way more room in here to bring this height up. One, two. I mean, so that'll bring it up to 96 in height. That's good. More like guard from thief. Ah, yes, and we want our stairs. Also, having a wall so that we're not peering into this would also be helpful. Yeah, that's all right. And once again, we're gonna make some stairs. Actually, it makes me wonder if we should. Okay, so if I like do a quick triangular prism over here for the stairs, because that's just all we care about. We just want the shape of the area. That's gonna stick out into here, and the player's gonna like move along here. Actually, let me just make it real quick and show you. So if I do like 48, go 48 by 32. Oh, that's perfect. So that'll be 2 by 3. Yeah. So if I make stairs like this, it's kind of weird because presumably if the player is moving through this area, they're going to be coming down here. They're going to look to their right, and then they're going to try and move towards the door, but then they're going to like get caught on the side of this thing. And so because of that, they actually have to move in a weird like S pattern. And that's kind of strange. And it's like a little more aggravating as opposed to just like going directly compared to where they want. So I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this in towards the stairs. Maybe have like you poke out like a few units there. But I'm going to do that so that the player can just move here directly with more relative ease. And in order to accommodate that, we need to recess part of this floor. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Yeah, okay. So what I think I'll do... Okay, good. So that's level along the grid. Or they're on the same grid line, rather. And then, yeah, I'm going to pull that out. And we're good there. And I'm going to pull this out. We're good there. Extend this because this is not quite 96 units. Oh, it won't let me, not when it's like this, I guess. Actually, I can just kind of... oh, I see. Alright, so I can take this vertex. Come on. Sweet. And flange that out. Is flange the right word? I'm not sure, but it sounds right. Cool. And then we can move this in. Actually, you know, I'm just going to drag out a new one. Ah, the Boston greeting. It's pretty rainy here. I don't know what weather's like for everyone else out there. Okay, it looks like this doesn't really extend all the way. But I'm fine with that. Yeah, this is... oh, yeah, this is okay for now. But yeah, see, that's definitely like a way smoother way to move through here. Okay. And this is also nice because it'll give us a little more space up here. Then once we move into here, I think we can bring this up even higher for ceiling. So what are we going to do? Gonna bring this back for a wall. Actually, because we have this thing here, we're gonna lose some of the floor space by doing this, but I think we'll be fine. Let's bring this up to be... how high did we want it to be? I think currently it's 96 units high, at least going off of this. So let's bring that up like 16. And I think that'll just barely graze under there. Dang it, what am I doing? Not quite. Alright. We'll bring it down 8 more units. Actually, yeah. Hey, there we go. Okay. Well, this is still engaging for everyone. I'm gonna stretch that out to here. Oh no, it's already started. The weird noises that I make to myself when I'm alone, I knew were going to eventually seep into this streaming. I'm doomed. Everyone's gonna think I'm nuts. So if I stretch this out to here, all right. Then bring the bottom down a little. There's gonna be a little weird mismatch in this lip. But it's actually like facing downward, so I'm not sure how many players will notice. We can also disguise it with like a little bit of trim. I think that'll be fine. And once again, oh right, that's the ceiling. We'll actually, let's just do that now. This 1, 2. That should be good, right? Yep. Okay, so we have Z fighting going on here. Where's that coming from? Oh. Whoops, I'm in the galley. Oh, interesting. That's coming from this. We will take care of that in the decorative phase. Boy, we're about halfway through, and man, my lower back is getting sore. Let me get some water. Actually, is my... No, he's not. shit. I went to look for another coworker on Slack because he had been online prior. And he's also a guy I definitely want to get on. And he also said he would appear on the stream. But he's not currently online. Neat. All right. Now we just need a ceiling. Oh, I don't think it needs to be that high because that resulted in some Z finding up there. Okay. So we just make a copy of this. Will this be an adequate ceiling? So I definitely want it just above the top of the door frame arch there. Is that peeking out? A little on this side, but that's okay. And nice. I'm gonna make copies of these. Move that up here. Oh, interesting. What is that? Oh, it's just higher than expected. All right. These are, on the interior. They're poking through. Extend these up. And then we just need to sort of wrap around this alcove, I guess, and then we're done. At least with this section. That around this corner. That's good. I know these are poking out on the outside. And this looks pretty good. Not gonna catch me. I'm not sure what I meant by that. Eat. Yeah. It's opened up. Or rather, that's actually, it's quite the opposite. It's closed it up. I don't know if you ever get like tired to the point where like you just start saying certain things automatically. I gotta have it, and then they just make no contextual sense. Well, we're at that point with me now. Yeah, all right. So the blockout of the captain's quarters looks pretty good right now. Is this process always so slow? Yeah, pretty much. It's definitely not helping that I have to like juggle between a few different apps to like look at my level design diagrams, and I check every now and again on the stream. So yes, maybe I'm a little slower than normal, but like it's not like this would be. It's not like you could whip out this whole space in like 2 days in a normal context. All right. So, whoops, no, that's the forecastle. Okay, so let's move up into here. Boom. Okay. That's pretty good. In terms of width and in terms of height, it's actually really nice. Also, why did you pick Dark Engine instead of Dromed? Oh my lord. Dromed. Just because I had prior experience doing a full level with the Dark mod. Oh, yes. Dang it. I forgot that. Oh, well. I'll get that. Mostly because I had prior experience with it, and also because, what's it? I don't know. Like these are kind of aged tools. Like I understand that, but you want to talk about like the original Thief level editor. My God, that thing is ancient in game tech terms. This wasn't as high as I was thinking it'd be. So yeah, I do have a little experience at least with making stuff in Dromed. Like I had a little System Shock 2 level, but yeah, I don't know. I wanted something that was at least a tiny bit more modern. Because this is mostly showing off like the level design process, or at least what that looks like when I'm doing it. So it feels all right, except for it definitely feels like this is it feels weird. This has like a slightly higher ceiling, I think, than like this area, and that's kind of strange to me. Mostly because, if you have a lower ceiling, it makes something feel cramped. And depending on what kind of space you're making, like that can be appropriate. That mainly, I think, makes it feel like less hospitable. And so if you're talking about like a hallway entry into the captain's quarters versus the captain's quarters, I would expect the living space here to actually have the higher ceiling. So let me adjust that. I think if we raise it over here to this side, it's going to start poking out of the deck above. But I think it will be all right if we do like a little... We can either like slope this ceiling upwards because the deck above is actually like going upwards. It's an upwards incline. See, going towards the back. So we can either slope the ceiling down here upward, or we could like have it go out like a few units at this height, and then it sort of jumps up. So you can have like a little lip up there. Yeah, I think I'll do like the lip. Okay. So let's go back to the clip tool. And let's say, I don't know, 96 units. Does that seem all right? So it's like 1, 2, 3. Then down here, and then shift enter. That's all right. And then we'll bring this up. Would 32 units be good? Will that? Oh no, that's way too much. Let's go 16. All right, that's better. So yeah, I'll probably pull this in about 8 units. And then to make up, I'll pull this out. 8 units. But then because of that, we need to extend these walls. This one, not going to be a problem. But these other ones, if we raise them, this side is going to be poking through. So I think we need to divide it along this edge. And again, we're using the clip tool here. Shift enter. All right. Cool. And then this one. Oh, and I should say that there's still a lot of people who are doing great stuff for like Thief and Thief 2 levels. There's actually a little bit of news recently that like there's this like guy who somehow managed to get the source code to the Dark engine, which was powering Thief and System Shock 2. And like he's just been like adding things, but like no one else has access to this code. But what this guy, well, I didn't even know it's a guy. This person, they released a new patch that added, what's it, like multiplayer to like Thief. Well, I believe it already like existed as a mod in some form or another, but it's in like the new, like more extendable version, if I am understanding correctly. So now people can start like modding and making maps for like Thief 2 multiplayer, which is pretty wild. So yeah, there's still like a lot of great levels that are being made in those tools. It's just that I chose not to use it for this particular project. All right. Well, it looks pretty nice. And again, nothing is peeking out here. Looks pretty good. Oh, whoops. What do I do? Oh no, Justin has in-laws. Let me... Where's that? Well, no interview today. Dang. I keep doing this. Can't take a rain check. Indeed you can, Justin. All right. So up here and then boom. Oh, this feels way nicer. Look at that. And it's also interesting because this will be like a small thing that we talk about architecture. One of the things that I learned from that textbook I brought up earlier is that there are interesting ways to basically like segment space, and so that can really affect the feeling of a room. And so the ways to really help that are having height changes in either the floor or the ceiling, because your brain can't really help, and this doesn't help because it's not a terribly well lit map right now. But if you can see, your brain can't help but like kind of extend an invisible wall down here, and so your brain kind of thinks of this room underneath this lower ceiling as like a different chunk, and as like a distinct space from, you know, this more open area over here. And so that's sort of a small thing that you can do to either, you know, highlight an area or like make an area feel separate from like a more important area elsewhere. And you know, it's just little things like that that like I find like really interesting. Yeah. All right. So this feels pretty great. I forgot to do this again. Whoops. To patch that hole, rather. How does it look down here? Yes, well, I can't even walk here. So this definitely needs to be moved back towards this area. I might squeeze this down actually a little bit in order to make room. Quit this mission. Yes. Sorry, messaging Justin. Right, well, while we're here, oh, whoops. That's the opposite of what I wanted. Wait, what? Oh, it's triangular. That's not good. All right. So that's neat. Now for this down here. So yeah, because this is the face where the stairs leading down to below deck are going to join with, I would prefer to keep this width of, I believe it's 96 units. I really don't want to squeeze it down farther than that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this in a little bit to make it more narrow, because this is 128 units. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I will pull this outward. All right, so now this is 96 wide. And now we're going to move this over here. 1, 2. All right. And that's right. Nothing peeking out. Good. And this is nice because we've still got some overlap here, so we don't really need to change the height. Good thing I caught this, I guess. This might make for weird proportions. So let me actually do something real risky here. Well, maybe not risky, but this could end up getting a little messy. Move that there. It looks okay. Oh, wait, hang on. Apparently I had the ones back on the other side still selected. So over 2 times. By the way, this, no, that couldn't cut into anything. All right, that's good. So that'll, still a little weird how it's coming into here, but it's, I mean, it's better. You know, I don't necessarily like need this alcove here, I guess. Or rather, I don't think I need it to extend far out enough as it does. Yeah, because this is, right now this is 32 units. We don't really need that. Let me cut that in half. Here. Here. And here. Here, move that. Move this. And then I think, well, this still extends. Yeah, we still need it there. Actually, no, we don't, but we still have this open area, so it looked like we did for a moment. extends into that. Yep, looks good. Come on. And that looks good. Where was that? All right. And how do we cover this then? Okay. How tall is this thing? What is it? Oh. Because I have the grid on 16. So it wants to make blocks that are 16 units high. Always. It's great. Right, so now over here, we're going to bring that in. Actually, no. Well, I think if we just make that 4 units thick instead, that'll be fine. Bring that out to the other side of the stairs here. And that's good. Okay. Alright, so that should be marginally better here. I am a little concerned that this is going to look strange with this like little overhang sticking out more relative to the sides. Prey use height changes effectively too, most definitely. Like adding what things? I guess I've lost the context for that one. Sorry. All right. Jeez. Whew. 2/3 of the way through. Oh, something I should also mention. I kept promising to put the level design doc up on the Last Life forums. It is, in fact, now up. I did not forget to do it again this week. So if you go to, I think, last-life.net, and you go to the forums, there should be a post in one of those areas where I basically give out the link. Okay. Alright, well, it is at least now possible to walk through and navigate here. So, good start. This still feels wide enough for the player to move along here. Although there's going to be a guard moving down here, so I don't think there's going to be enough room to maneuver around him. I think that'll be okay. Because, you know, because the player's starting out there on the shore, and the goal is to get onto the ship here as it's moving, this is definitely supposed to feel a little harder. And so, you know, having less space to get around these guys, I think, is appropriate. Because it's sort of like an escalation, or a an escalation of the difficulty for pacing. All right. So, wow. We're getting a good deal done. At least this time around. I would definitely want to make another patch here for the mast. Boom. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? And what's it? Patch, create cylinder. All right. That blends in way too much with that, and you know, it looks obviously different from the mast above. Did I change the material on this? No, I did not. Do we care at this point? I'm not sure. I think me just making the mast there, or extending it down, was not necessarily needed. How's that at this point? Well, not quite. Although it does look a little, I mean, it contrasts better with the wall behind it, so I think that's okay. All right, so let's review the space that we're going to be making that goes down into here. So this will be the below deck area. Excuse me. All right. Oh, dang, I'm missing a little cross line here. This is going to bug me. Hey, look at that. All right. So we're going to make some stairs here. That's going to be... No, that's a triangle. Because that's going to be... I believe it was 96, but I just want to check. Yes. 96 by... Before we hit this landing here. It's going to be 96 by... 128 plus half. That's... Yeah, 160 again. And then this landing will be... looks like 96 square. Yes, okay. Okay, so the fact that, all right, let me draw a little thing here. 160. So 160 isn't evenly divisible by 3. And I'm saying that because, again, we kind of want our slopes for stairs to be at about 30 degrees. So this is, on this particular block, it's like 48, which means that the height here is 32. So you get a 3:2 ratio. Because 160 is not divisible by 3, that's going to get messy. We can kind of approximate. One. I don't even know why did I search for that? Okay, 160 divided by 3 times 2. So that's about 107 units. So we did 108 maybe. That'd be okay. Alright, so that's 96. Make this 160 long. Oh, we run out of space already. Well, not run out of space, but you know. So we're gonna have to adjust. Because apparently I'm not good at making measurements here. Okay, so if I move this out, no. Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong view. Yes, here's top down. Six. Okay. So if I pull this out here to be just about in line with this, although I don't know if I should do it by this internal corner or that external corner. Or I think that's the other way around. That'd be internal, external. And let's tuck it in here a little. And then I'm gonna move this down a bit. Down a little more, actually. I think that's here. Yes. So this will actually be 112 wide. Or actually, if I stretch that out, that'll be 128 actually. And 128, no, that's not divisible by 3. Calc again. 128 divided by 3 times 2, 85, so 86 units. We could do 88, I guess. So let's 64. That'll be 88. Although, all right. Bring that down here. Oh, right, and we actually need to understand where the floor is going to be. So, we're going to drag this out a bit here. because this is below deck and we have no other things that are blocking us and that are going to get in the way, we can just... Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Feels great. So, we have that. We have this, which will be about, yeah, 160 again by 96. Although this could actually be 160. Actually, I need to figure out how much distance there is between here and the top of this and the top of that, which would be, oh, whoops, shit. 64 units. So I guess mathematically, if we actually wanted to have that be a 30-degree slope for the stairs, then that would be 96. It would extend out 96 units. So we can do that. All right, and this will actually extend to the floor. And actually, we will tuck this under the slope of the stairs here. And boom, we have a stairwell down. This does not line up very well right now with the top here, but we can fix that. Boom. It's a little weird and warped here. And I think because of that, it's... Yeah, it pushed this vertex out as well. I'm not sure if it can handle being in a shape like that. We might just have to make do for now. Okay. What are people saying? Oh, Tyler Svelli. How you doing? How you doing, buddy? I just talked a little bit about the possibility of having you do models. So it's very nice of you to offer that. Wow, 19 people. That's remarkable. Okay, so at the point of the stairs here, or along this back area of the stairs. Actually, first I should figure out how wide it's going to be here. So let me get a measurement on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 320 units. This is currently 256. All right. Could this really extend that much farther? There's got to be some way that I was like off in taking these measurements, because I did actually like go in and for reference in the ship, I like tried to figure out how many units like wide a lot of these things were. Well, let's try this. It's still within the bounds there. That only added like 16 units, right? Yeah, it's 272 now. Which is not bad, but you know. Clearly my measurements were off. So right on the other side of the stairs are 5, 6, 7. That's 7 times 64, which is 7 times 64, 448. Is the ship even 448 wide at that point? Maybe I was basing it off of the measurements of like the main deck, and then like this might be a little like narrower once we hit this point. Maybe. I don't know. 448 I said, right? Okay, so that's 448 minus 272. Fuck. I need this again. 48 minus 272, divide that in half. That is going to be 88 units. I did not mean to full screen that. 88 units additional on each side of this, which I don't know if we're gonna hit. 88. Actually, yeah, maybe. Move this in a bit. Oh, overlapping. Oh, hey, we actually did it. So then we're going to extend this out to there and make it a triangle. All right. And now I'm going to extend this out on the other side here. All right, it's pretty great. Sorry, let me get some more water. $30 minutes left, huh? I'm surprised how fast these go. Only the best for you. Aw, thanks, buddy. Oh, by the way, Tyler, so if I hold this up, see my desktop background there? That's from Pathologic 2. You should definitely play it. All right. That only goes for Tyler, though. I'm just kidding. Everyone should play it. Okay. So a little beyond here, under this walkway that the player like comes in on, it looks like there's going to be a wall here. So let me do more measurements. I'll actually do these on screen because I feel like it. So from the back of the stairs to where the wall is going to be, that is 96 units. Why not? And how long is that thing going to be? That's not very precise. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter. So it's 256 plus 16. That's 272. Which is, you know, the width of our central plank here. It's pretty nice. And then 96, 272. I'm writing these on a sticky note next to me. And then at this point, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 64. Well, it's 448 plus 32, which is going to be 480. Yes. It'll be 480. Which means that each of these should be 96. All right. Or each of the entries on either side of the wall there. This is 272, right? All right. So that means I can just pull this up. So if this is right next to here, then we pull out forward. 2, 3 units. Dang, there it is. Oh, it's actually a little under here. Ah, well. Then I'm gonna extend this to the ceiling. Boom. Definitely, I think we'll be pulling this down a little, or extending it down a little to add a little thickness to make it look like it could actually like support a person, you know. But for right now, I think it's good. So that means out to this point, it's gonna be like another 96 units from out here, which means it'll be 480 total width. Where's this thing? Okay, that's 96. We're gonna have it meet up with this corner. Great. Just going blind here. 96. All right. And then pull this corner in here. All right. Whew. A lot of progress. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Should I get rid of this texture? Probably should. So what's it? I forget the Control Shift Alt. Then I'll go to textures and apply that. There we are. Because we do not need the caulk texture there. Come here for the Jared, stay here for the game recos. This reminds me of Divinity's 2 tutorial boat. Oh yeah. Forgot about that. I've not played much of Divinity 2, but I do remember the boat specifically. I didn't get off of Fort Joy. Yeah, it's just taking me a while. I really need to get back on that and actually like play more of it. Okay, so coming around this wall, there's going to be a couple of cabin areas with like 2 bunks in each. So we need to figure out how wide these are. So three times 64 units. Oh god, I already had it. 192, right? And then the width of, or the length, whichever, of the 2 cabins back to back is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 64, so that's 320. So what's that? 192 by 320. And then that's how many units out from behind this wall? That's going to be... I'm betting it's going to be another 96 units. No, actually it is 128. Okay, so out here, if we make a copy of that, 64, ding, ding, it's 128. And then what was that again? 192 for the width. 192. I think we can extend that out. Actually, yeah, I need to know the floor width here, where the wall actually like extends out of the wall. The wall extends out of the side of the ship. I know there's like a wall and there's like another wall. You know. Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 actually. What's 8 times 64? So it's 256. 512. 512. Which means total that this is this right here is 464 wide. So we need to add I mean 48? Yeah, another 48 units on top of that. So oh, whoops. All right, that hits its width, I believe, 96 units out here. So there's going to be another 32 units where it is already at the peak width of the ship. So let me move that in. So at 96, we're adding 24 units to one side. So that's 120. 112 plus 8. It's 120, and we are extending outside the bounds of the ship. Well, if we tuck this in by 8 units actually, then we're fine. Yeah, okay. I guess that's close enough. I hate how much I say that now, but $112. Okay. Then from here, we're going to be at the peak width of this for 128 units. So out. What did I say, 128? Yeah. Jeez. I already forgot. Oh my god. Okay, and how wide did I say this was going to be? 192? Oh yeah, that's right. So, that's fine. Then up here, is also fine. Okay. Is this going to be the last interior bit that we need to do? Yeah, I think so. Oh, this is exciting. I can actually do, like, fucking buildings out here. Well, that'd be neat. Alright, and I said, how long were these cabins going to be? I forgot. I don't know. Gotta redo this. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 320. Yes. I should have remembered. So here, then we're actually gonna have to make we're gonna have to punch out a hole for the doorways, of course, but that'll come a bit later. 320. Well, actually, because of the thickness of this wall, right now it's 8 units. This will be 304 instead, and we're going to have the other 2 walls serve as the other 16 units. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, because of the 8 units thickness here, like that plus this plus the wall on the other side is 320 total. So that's good. We can move this up here. Move this as a copy over here. And boom. Now we already have this like central hallway. Oh my god. Man, we're actually getting places. This is rad. Okay, so these spaces, each of these are housing 2 cabins with 2 bunks each. So the wall separating those on the interior is gonna be from the front. That's gonna be God, 160 units. Yes, 160 units away from this particular face. So um, 16. So we're gonna go 32, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's pretty good. We'll just make a copy, move it into here. Yeah. Well, hang on. Is this? No. Okay, that's 192. Okay. All right. I gotta consider. Well, you know what? We didn't put up walls in here. That probably should have been my priority instead of like blasting on through to this other area. Yeah, we can do that real quick before we finish up. And this is definitely going to be a theme coming up in the later sessions of excuse me, of the current thing we're doing is important and needs to be finished and done right. But it is always so appealing to just go and move on to the next new thing that you want to do, like scripting or adding AI or decorating or lighting. But we really need to buckle down and finish whatever phase we're on first. Because I know I'm definitely prone to having that issue. And that's nice. We've got the interior here. And have that extend out to this corner. So if we stretch that over here, boom, wall. These two overlap, don't they? Oh, this cuts into the space quite a bit. Well, actually, it doesn't need to be that high. So that's our problem mostly solved. Actually, no, yeah, that's completely solved. Well, okay, maybe not here. Well, no, because, again, this is going to be like a little thicker. Actually, let's just do that now. And because of that, let's do this, and I have a wall over there. This will line up with this corner. Select the edges here. Pull that over. Oh, we've extended past it a little. All right. Yeah, and again, I think we're gonna pull these down to be 32 units. Yeah. Then gonna extend this. Back here. Over there. This meets up with this face? Yes, it does. Okay. So I can do this and that. Select. Meets up with that corner. Hey. Oh. Yeah, it'd help if we covered that too, wouldn't it? Boom. All right. And I think we're gonna do the outside wall of this cabin and check it in the game, and then I think we're gonna call it for today. Oh, perfect. Oh, no, not perfect. That's good. A little taller. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I keep remembering something silly. A friend of mine posted. And, oh, no, that's not good. Pull that in. Perfect. And, yeah. Okay, well, a ceiling would have been nice here, but no. We'll do that, first thing next time. So, wow, this is a boat. Hey, Sam. If they added a multiplayer mod for Thief, that means you can make a multiplayer heist. The complexity can be fun. A player could distract a group of guards and do the other stealing, or to open a vault. Multiple operations should be made in synchronicity. Popping in and out today. Oh my god, I missed a lot. My friends and I are still in Fort Joy. Yeah, sorry, Sam, I messed up. Justin was supposed to be on, but he had. Oh, I think he already left. Well, Justin was supposed to be on. Anyways, we will test this real quick. Okay. Time to go below deck. Oh, the Z fighting. Oh, man. I gotta take care of that. Okay, well. I guess this is not as grandiose as I thought it would be, but, yeah, there's a lot of space out here. It's pretty strange. But if I move through here, yeah, this is pretty good. Then, again, I should have had a ceiling here. Now for a place between cabins, that's pretty good. Yeah. Alright, well, I think we're going to finish this ship next time, or at least the interior of the ship, and then hopefully we can move on to the actual town. Do I really want to quit? Yes, I very much do. Alright, well, again, sorry about potentially having an interview guest and then that not panning out. I will ask Justin again if he can come next weekend. And if not, I might ask a different coworker to show up. Trying to make this happen, you know. Yeah, so I think we're in a pretty good spot, at least for the end of today. And I will see you guys next Sunday. Don't forget the Z fighting. I will definitely address that next time. All right. Bye, guys.